This is the first time we can clearly hear Henry say he's been stabbed in the footage, 49 seconds in. Then we see blue lights flashing as more responders arrive.
Right, let's get you out of there, shall we?
Police pull him along the ground.
Grab his other arm.
And man, it is harrowing. The geezer died with very little dignity, cuffed, getting your rights read. So this case, you obviously his father talks, and it's a horrible way for him to go. Really sad case.
So this is something that at the end of the day, Allah in the Quran says, if you save one soul, it says if you save the whole of humanity. In Islam, we don't distinguish between lives. So subhanAllah, to see that him being treated in that way, which we're going to come to.
This is the new Sadaqah Jariyah in town.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran,
a man pleading with Allah
to send him back so he could give Sadaqah.
Why Sadaqah? Because he knows the weight of Sadaqah.
Just £100.
You can help teach 20 to 60 people to learn
how to perform Salah,
recite Surah Fatiha,
and make wudu.
Click the link and donate now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters and dear friends. Hope you guys are well, inshallah. Welcome to another episode of the Dawah podcast. Alhamdulillah, we're here with Dawud, assalamu alaikum, my co-host, alhamdulillah, and who's been doing some deep research on this topic we're going to discuss today. We've got two amazing guests here, Brother Jordan and Brother Dawi. Assalamu alaikum, guys.
Wa alaikum salam.
Incredible guest.
They are alhamdulillah. And
handsome.
Last minute they managed to come through, inshallah, which we really appreciate, because you guys are
we're just at home waiting for your call, Ali. That's what it is.
Yeah, literally, alhamdulillah.
That's all we do, man.
I appreciate you guys went out your way and came to Panama. It's really important because you guys are born here. You guys are British. You get it?
Yeah.
So you guys can really relate to this stuff.
I think it was the topic that made me come, because I think I was working, but this is an important topic.
Yeah. You had to.
We want our country.
Yeah. Exactly. In a nutshell.
That's where we come.
Yes, exactly. Well, we're going to discuss that, and obviously, what's happened is quite tragic. So, a young man lost his life, Henry. Yes. So this is something that at the end of the day, Allah in the Quran says, if you save one soul, it says if you save the whole of humanity. In Islam, we don't distinguish between lives. So subhanAllah, to see that him being treated in that way, which we're going to come to. But what we want to do is we want to go straight to, maybe it's up to you guys. Should we go straight to the video, or should we just hear what you guys, when you saw the footage, how did you guys feel?
Because I honestly, I didn't sleep well last night, because I know I was coming on this. I watched the footage again, and man, it is harrowing. The geezer died with very little dignity, cuffed, getting your rights read. And so this case, you obviously his father talks, and it's a horrible way for him to go. Really sad case.
What was your reaction to that when you first saw it?
Disgusted. To be honest, I mean, he's 18-year-old young lad for me. No age to go and no circumstances to go under. How did the police get it so wrong? That was what I was. How, as a trained police officer, how did the police get that call that wrong in that moment? And I kind of looked into it a little bit, and it's something that the police have been following now for some years, called the Police Race Action Plan, which is like a template or teachings of how they deal with race related crimes or race reported crimes, and things like this. So they have sort of like a protocol that they've been taught. I think it come after the Stephen Lawrence situation, Stephen Lawrence death, way back then, and that gives them a sort of template of how they deal with race related crimes or accusations of race related crimes. That needs to be looked at, because they were seen to be more concerned or talking to the Sikh guy that said he had his turban knocked off than the poor lad that was bleeding out on the floor. And it's because of what they're taught.
Okay, so this is very important.
I think it's because of what they're taught, because policemen shouldn't act on their own.
Have we seen what the protocol is, or do we know?
It's a big dossier. I haven't had the time.
Yeah, but I personally, I haven't seen any evidence of the police seeing it as a race incident. Do you know what I mean?
Wasn't it reported as a race incident on the phone?
It was reported as, this guy attacked us. It was like a white guy attacked us, but we'll get into that, won't we?
Yeah, and that's the thing where the word that you use, a white guy attacked us, because the thing is, it's because there's so much dynamics, because it's like, I lived before I came this time, I used to live in a place called Grimsby, the most racist town I've lived in. Like, I used to get into fights every day. Like, I can remember I was quite young. They attacked my house. They broke the sheds. They smashed in the windows. Me, my mum, I was hiding behind my mum, my little brother. I know how traumatic that was for me, and the hatred that I started having to like chavs and I'm not saying every like white person there, but it's that trauma that comes with it. So it's such a double-edged sword because at the end of the day, in that scenario, it was like maybe the white guy is the culprit by default. And that shouldn't be the case.
No.
You know, just because I know you can be a Muslim, you can be a Sikh, you can be a Hindu, you can be brown, you can be black, whatever. Why is it that automatically you are a victim? Or sometimes in certain situations, even like black people, they're like, oh, they're the culprit, or the Asians, or do you get it? So there's so much to unpack. But there was a phone call that was made by the culprit's brother. Might answer our question to what happened there. Let's go to the video of the footage so people can see what actually transpired for those who do not know. So the footage is of the body cam footage, inshallah.
This is Vikram Digwa, the killer, on the night he stabbed Henry Novak multiple times. Police released this body cam footage. 4 other people can be seen while Henry is on the floor.
He keeps dropping side to side, so I'm just trying to keep him set up. He's got a mouth full of blood, I don't want him.
A discussion takes place between police and bystanders before police ask Henry.
What's your name, mate?
Henry attempts to respond. Then the police officer says,
Has anyone been hurt other than him?
At this point, Digwa steps in, saying he's the victim.
He took my turban off, started grabbing my head.
Are you injured?
Yeah, I've got swollen eye, little bruises.
Alright, just step back a little bit for me.
This is the first time we can clearly hear Henry say he's been stabbed in the footage, 49 seconds in. Then we see blue lights flashing as more responders arrive.
Right, let's get you out of there, shall we?
Police pull him along the ground.
Grab his other arm. What's happened to you, right?
This is the 4th time in the footage we hear Henry say he's been stabbed, 1 minute 11 seconds after it begins.
You've been stabbed? Whereabouts? Don't think you have, mate.
We've muted the audio here because it's distressing. Henry groans as police pull his hands behind his back and handcuff him. In this section of the video, Henry repeatedly says he can't breathe.
He's saying he's been stabbed, so let's just check him.
1 minute 48 seconds in, a police officer lifts up the side of Henry's top, but goes no further. Then we can hear someone say he hasn't been stabbed.
In the face? Oh no, but we have to check, don't we?
No.
In the face?
Then, with police surrounding him, Henry says, "Please, brother, I can't breathe." In total, we've clearly heard Henry say he can't breathe 7 times. Police officers say Henry is under arrest and read him his rights. 2 minutes 48 seconds after the footage begins, police call for an ambulance.
Okay, so I mean, I can even feel the energy in the room change. Dawood was really, well, everyone's angry here. Okay, what do you guys make out of it? Because this man is stabbed. He says he's stabbed. If I'm not mistaken, towards the beginning, did someone, the guy who was attending him, did he say he's bleeding, or did I mishear it? Can we just go? Because
someone said he was bleeding.
Good. No.
No, he said he had blood from his mouth, I think I heard, right?
Okay, because I heard someone saying he's bleeding, or I heard blood.
Yeah.
If someone says that, I'm so sorry, with all due respect, you have to attend. One of the officers did say, look, he's bleeding, so we do have to check. What do you guys make out of this?
Whatever training they've been through, the police officers, because they got that race action plan that the police are supposed to follow when it's a reported crime like this. This young lad's clearly not moving. No. He's clearly really in bad shape. Yes. I mean, you know, he's not. Why are you cuffing someone? Can't you have to move them? Yes. He's not a threat. I mean, you cuff people that are going to try and escape or hit you or be a threat to you. Yeah. This kid's in real problems here, and they've cuffed him. Yeah. Why are you cuffing someone that can barely move? And then the police officer says, "No, you ain't, mate." Was it? Did he say that?
He goes. I don't think he was stabbed.
Yeah. Something like that.
He says, "I don't think he was stabbed." Yes.
They said that, and I think all he did was lift up a tiny bit of his shirt, so there wasn't really a thorough check. Yeah. So they clearly didn't believe him, right? Yeah. They clearly didn't believe he'd been stabbed, and so it seems like the police have come in with the assumption that Henry is not the victim. Yes. He's the culprit. But I mean, even if he was the culprit, the guy is saying he can't breathe. The guy's like literally. Yeah. dying in
But
front
why
of
is he identified as the culprit from the get-go? I want to know, why is it that the first thing the officers established was he's a culprit? Because before they came, the guy that was attending him, he said, I'm trying to turn him from left to right. He keeps falling.
Yeah.
That should be a sign.
That should be a sign,
That you're dealing with someone that is not, because the
He
man
can't
is
control himself.
He cannot control himself. There's something
Why are you
going on.
cuffing him?
And if he's not, because I was saying, why is there no blood? I think there might be internal bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah. So subhanAllah, I think it's very important for us to now go to the phone call that the culprit's brother made, and this is very important
And that's
because
the framing. That's the
That's
framing.
the framing that shaped
That's the
everything.
entire framing. And
do we have it?
can we?
Just find in the meantime what I was talking the phone call of the brother to the police. If it's
So first of all, like it's the framing, right? So I talking to the police officer saying that my turban, he kicked off my turban.
Pulled my turban off or something, yeah.
Right. So obviously we already know that the turban has been a very, very prominent religious artifact within the Sikh community. So if you tell that a police officer, the framing intensifies, because now it's like he's thinking, oh, this might be white guy on the floor. And honestly, first and foremost, really my condolences go to the Novak family.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm really taken, and I actually have not seen this video. This is the first time I'm watching this.
Really? Yeah.
So it's I have goosebumps, man. This is crazy
Yeah.
because I'm seeing someone dying and he's pleading for life. He's literally pleading for life, and it seems like we're not learning. It seems like we're not learning. We look at the Rochdale situation. I think Ali, I've always commended you that you were always very, very strict, like straight to the point. Telling people, hey, if we had the chance to get these people in Rochdale, we would capital punish them in there for what they were doing. Like no sugarcoat.
Islam deals with it.
Yeah,
in a harsh way,
And here again, we have the same situation where people or police officers think they're doing the right thing because they're ticking boxes off on a checklist. White guy, Sikh guy, black guy, that guy. This is just ridiculous.
That's why, like, it might come a shock to the far right. I mean, they might watch this and even clip this. But someone who's identified as a jihadi, terrorist, whatever you want to call it. I'm so sorry. I think there is a bit of political correctness and some kind of duty policing. I have to be honest with you because to me, it's like, I understand a lot of brown people, we get attacked, we've had racism. Okay. But just because that happens doesn't mean automatically we are always the victims. With all due respect, it's not. And I do see that. Now, I know in this situation that might not apply. So I'm not trying to exacerbate situations. I know there's riots happening. I'm not trying to add on to that. All I'm saying is that we have to be fair and just because Allah tells us in the Quran, speak the truth even if it's against yourself. With all due respect, you're my Muslim brother. If you're wrong, I'm going to tell you you're wrong, bro. It's not like my loyalty is to you. My loyalty is Allah and His Messenger. And Allah tells me I have to be just, even if it's against Tommy Robinson. If a Muslim was, argument's sake, did something wrong, even if it's Tommy Robinson, I say, sorry, mate, he's right, you're wrong. My religion teaches me, not, hey, you're on my side. It doesn't work like that. So I don't think in this situation, because if we go to the phone call that the brother made, it's framed things in such a way that I think it explains a bit. But again, I can't take some blame off the officers. If we can just maybe find.
Can I, Ali, disagree with you respectfully in a sense? Not to look. I can't defend the police. The police, that is abysmal policing, right? And like you say, condolences to the family. But I think that it's quite sad to even think about what Henry was going through. I think it's an assumption to say that the police came in and thought this is a white guy, this is a Sikh guy. That's an assumption, I think. Any normal person will look at that. Someone's been stabbed. Now we got to look at why did the police come in and think that Henry wasn't the victim, and I think the next bit's gonna show that. But for me, that you've got certain people like Nigel Farage, Tommy, trying to push race onto this.
Which they are.
Yeah, which they are. And they're successfully doing it. They're making it a conversation about Sikhs, a conversation about white people. Henry's father himself doesn't mention Sikhs at all.
Very honourable.
He says this is an evil act. This is and this Sikh guy, evil. Did you see him there? He was actually saying to the police, he hit me here to my terminal. The guy's on the floor. He had a chance to call the ambulance at that point.
Yes.
So he should be, double charged because he's watching Henry die. He knows he stabbed him in the heart.
He got 21 years.
Yeah,
21 years.
Look, this is why.
There's nothing in it.
No, there should be capital punishment with all due respect. This is the right.
But can you see my point? It's an assumption on our part at the moment to say that the police thought that this was a white guy and a Sikh guy.
I would want to watch the call of the brother. I would still stick to my position, which I believe officers are on the edge with this of the white man is always the victim in certain situations. And I just want to watch that.
No,
footage
the
of the call.
white man is always the perpetrator.
Sorry, the perpetrator. Sorry, yes, correction.
I found the videos in the group chat.
Okay.
Jordan, just replying to you quickly, because I totally agree with you. I also believe that it is an assumption. However, what I would say is what I'm commenting on is the situation at hand. I think when the police got there, I think that's what happened. These like filters start to
But are they filters? They're real filters. Like, let's be honest with you. It's I'm not blaming, but it exists. That's what I'm saying. I believe it's stemming from somewhere where officers like, oh my gosh, are we gonna get blamed if we was to say no? Maybe the Sikh or that brown guy. I think
this is what they're being taught in the police race action plan. We need to know what that teaches them, because it's clearly they're leaning towards where the white guy's wrong, and the brown guy is right.
That's what I'm saying.
Before they even get started.
Let's look at these actually.
Yeah, let's watch that. I think you've got it. The phone call. Have you got the phone call?
Yeah, we found it.
Okay, perfect.
We just got attacked racially by some white person.
Right, okay. Whereabouts are you?
We're on Belmont Road.
Just out in the street, are you?
Sorry?
You're just in the street?
Yeah, literally. I just parked up my car to come home, and he's attacked my brother.
You're talking about verbally or physically?
No, he physically attacked my brother. We're Sikhs. We wear turban, and he's just attacked my brother.
Have any weapons been involved?
No. He's verbally attacked my brother racially. He's attacked my brother and took his turban off. Then he's recorded it on his phone thinking he was going to do something. So I need someone here ASAP, please.
This is the new Sadaqah Jariyah in town.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran.
A man pleading with Allah
to send him back so he could give sadaqah.
Why sadaqah? Because he knows the weight of sadaqah.
Just £100.
You can help teach 20 to 60 people to learn
how to perform salah,
recite Surah Fatiha,
and make wudu.
Click the link and donate now.
Okay, so I just want to mention something here. There might be a possibility, because there is a footage that I saw of these individuals with a sword, and they're in an altercation again. I don't know if it's with Henry. I don't know. There's something going on. It might be there's a possibility that racism may have taken place or not. Regardless, there's no justification to what happened. But his phone call, you can clearly see, he goes, was there any weapons used? No. What do you mean?
It's a lie.
It's a knife.
Yeah.
And you're saying your brother was attacked. You mentioned you're being a Sikh. You mentioned the turban. Now, you need to understand, officers, that he's going to transmit that now to the officer on the ground.
Yeah.
A Sikh gentleman has been abused, attacked, turban ripped off.
Yeah.
This is putting things into perspective.
Absolutely.
Now. Do you get it?
This frames why the police turn up, because if you report something to the police, they're going to come to you, right? So because the brothers reported it, the police are going to him, so they're getting their
Point
side
of
of the story.
reference,
He's using race clearly by saying, our turbans, what for some reason he's mentioning we're turbans and he's attacked us. So the police are going to go into that with the assumption that this is a hate crime, right?
Yeah.
Racial hate crime. This is a racial hate crime. They've got that, so they have gone in with that assumption.
Yes. Now, can we say that if that phone call was not made, are those biases still there? I'm going to say biases, I don't know, because the officers are, white themselves. But the thing is this: do you think if they went there and that statement of that guy, the culprit, who's standing there saying, "I'll go hit in the eye," he ripped my turban or whatever. I think that alone would even cause him to be like, okay, this is racially motivated. Just by that statement. So this is why I'm saying, I'm not blaming the police officers, because at the end of the day, they're like, listen, what do we do? We're doomed if we do it. We're not. Because if now we come and say, no, maybe you're the culprit,
this is the problem, man.
Racism, we go for the white guy, now they can't win.
But what you just said there is the actual root of the problem. We're doomed if we do, or damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. Policemen shouldn't be thinking like that. What's the repercussions socially, politically? They should be thinking, deal with the situation in hand.
There should be principles in place.
Not weighing up. If I do this, I'll be in trouble. If I don't do that, I might not be in trouble. That shouldn't be the case.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And that's the contention the far right have. And this is why they're using it to politicize their views. Because it is a legitimate sentiment, what they're saying, which is that political correctness and also kind of our daughters are being raped, whatever, by these Asians, whichever background they're from. And Islam deals with this. This is why I believe, I'll be honest with you, the right has been violated of Henry's family. They should be the ones that decide what happens to this man, with all due respect. Not 21 years, because Allah in the Quran...
And the brother. How is the brother not... How is the brother
and the
not...
brother.
Yes.
Yes, and they should be the ones that's be dealing with, because you know why? Because that's what Allah says in the Quran. There is life in capital punishment. Why life? Because if one person, this man, with all due respect, if he got the capital punishment in a public square, you might call it barbaric, I don't care what you call it, the next person to carry a knife and the next person to do anything is going to think 2 times. That's all I said. There's life in it. Meaning, one person's capital punishment will save people. Will like, oh, I don't want to end like that. I don't want to be in a hotbed, hot food. Everything's catered from in a prison.
Yeah.
You know, some people just want to go to prison for that. So the system within itself, there's fundamental issues with the system that we have because it's Henry's family that's been violated, been wronged here. And 21 years for what? Some people go scot-free.
Brother Tawi, I really, really appreciate the way you talk about these subjects because I think you really start to find a balance, how you can still speak very directly for what it is and also have the Islamic principles there. And I think this is something that sometimes people struggle because it's like, it's either you protect, Islam and therefore, in the far right minds, immigrants, or you're a traitor because you're, speaking out against sort of like white, protesters, But I think you found the perfect balance here, really, to like address the problem for what it is. And we briefly before the show we had a bit of a conversation about this. Do you feel like there is not two-tier system policing going on, but do you feel like there is this like fear where the authorities sometimes just are causing more problem and adding more fuel to the fire because of like not being principled? And
this is a class issue.
Yeah.
Okay, and it goes deeper than this particular thing. And why white working class people have this perception and understanding is because racially, the demograph, white free school meal FSM children do statistically much worse than any other ethnic group in the country.
Yeah.
Only 19% of working class children, white working class, pass their GCSEs.
Yeah.
They are socially engineered to be subservient.
Yeah.
And that's not just been the last 20, 30, 40, 50,
Absolutely.
it's been hundreds of years of this going on.
Absolutely.
So when you say to a British white working class lad like myself, but your country went around the world and took India and took this and took Africa.
Yeah.
But we were still dying of diphtheria, typhoid, going down mines, up chimneys. We were still living 10, 20 in a room in Whitechapel and Birmingham and Manchester, wherever they were, Liverpool.
Absolutely.
So we don't see it.
Yeah.
And now now when ethnic groups come over, like the greatest or like the highest percentage of working class children that pass their exams is Chinese, then Indian, then African, then Asian, then Afro-Caribbean.
Yeah.
Okay, but the white British working class kid is last on the list. We're the most likely to get excluded from school. We're the most likely to have mental health issues. So they're looking at this thinking, well, it's all against us.
Yeah.
But it hasn't just been against us now.
Yeah.
It's been against us for going way back. You've seen Oliver Twist and all them films.
Yeah.
It's always been like that. So now they're thinking, well, now even the police system is against us. And to some extent, you could call me a white racial name in public and I'd be like, I call you a black racial name in public and I'll get nicked.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
So white people are thinking, not middle class and upper class, working class people.
Yeah.
This is why Tommy Robinson can gaslight them so easily.
Yeah.
That's why.
And on that note of this, let's go to this gets ridiculous here. This is Tommy Robinson. If we can go to this one, I know it's. I'm going to send it to you now, Jabi. Yeah, it's not this one. Just play this first. Then we're going to go to Henry's father. What he said.
Yeah, that's the
Tommy is talking about Pakistan again. Muslim Pakistanis. You can't make this stuff up. You can, and I genuinely. This is very important. Have you noticed if you watch Tommy's video before you play it, in the car, he's got a whole different demeanor. I was observing him very carefully. When it was a jihadi Muslim terrorist attack, you can see full force, veins popping out. With this one, he was a bit more collective. He was a bit more like laid back in the approach. Yeah. And I was wondering why, because I didn't know who the culprit was. And I said, I wonder who the culprit was. When I found out it was a Sikh guy, I said, makes perfect sense now. His demeanor shifted. I believe the moment he found out the culprit was a Sikh guy for whatever reason, his demeanor changed because his closest friends are Sikhs. He's always bigged up the Sikh community. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with our Sikh brothers and sisters. No. We meet them, lovely people. They are not about violence. You know, now we're going to talk about carrying the whole knife thing. That's a whole different story, which I believe that should not be. Because with all due respect, bro, if I'm having a fight with someone, in the moment of anger, we try to tend to grab stuff. Bro, if I've got a knife on me, That's tempting. You get it if I'm in a situation. So I'm gonna come to that later. But let's watch this video footage because now he's at the Southampton police station and he's talking about Muslims and Pakistanis.
He's paid to.
Look, there are certain people in society that are waiting for attacks like this to happen, right?
Yes.
They're waiting in their background, and they're frothing at the teeth. They you know, you imagine the phone call, innit? Tommy, there's been an attack. All right, yeah, who was it? Oh, a white geezer.
Yeah.
Who was the perpetrator? Was he a Pakistani?
Yeah.
This time now it's Sikh.
Thank you.
Well, that would do. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
So,
Literally
and the Sikh, like you say, they've always been the model community to be. If you assimilate like the Sikhs, we'll respect you. You can be British.
Yes.
Just like us.
Let them in.
Look how quickly one crime and they've turned on the whole Sikh, thousands of Sikhs in the country.
Yes.
You know, this banning the Kapan and stuff, I'm against that, to be honest. We can get into that later.
Yeah.
Why is it being talked about now when for decades the Sikhs have been carrying their Kapans without any problems?
Yeah.
They're not contributing to knife crime.
Yeah.
They're not the ones using it.
Yeah, and I think this really backfired on Tommy Robinson because some journalists confronted him and said, "You're the one who's saying about let the Sikhs in," and and once again, we're just using their hypocrisy.
Tommy using Henry's name, and the father said, "Please do not use my name for this reason."
Yes.
Sick. Absolutely sick. You know, Tommy turned up in Southampton there. Would he be there if Henry was a brown guy?
Nope.
You wouldn't even hear about it. So the two-tier is coming from them. They only care if the perpetrator is a brown guy.
They care about the culprit. I don't believe they give a damn about the victim.
Exactly.
Who is the culprit?
Me and you, Ali, George Floyd, we care about that equally, just like this. We're sickened by both of them.
We're morally
These guys do not care about George Floyd.
Yeah.
Henry, Novak, they are, parading around Southampton.
Yeah,
because you know why?
Clear
They are
double standard.
strategically consistent, not morally. If you're morally consistent, a life is a life, correct? Do we distinguish between a life? But if you're strategically consistent, you're going to be looking at what's the most, okay, how is this going to benefit myself on my political agenda? Let's just go to this footage, inshallah, of Tommy Robinson after Dawood, inshallah. Because it really made me angry. Like so much so, I was going to drive to Southampton. I'll be honest with you. I was thinking to go and confront this dirtbag. Watch this.
Okay. Yeah. So, Jabi, if you can, I put a image of the London Evening Standard.
Can we go to that after this?
Okay, sure.
Let's just go to after.
Sure.
Just do it in sequence order, inshallah. Yes.
Yeah.
First of all, every one of you, well done for not remaining silent. Well done for coming out. Henry's murder is. I've spoke about this for 20 years. I said you'll be a victim of a race gang, i.e. Pakistani Muslims, will be beating up a white kid. The police will turn up, they jump on the white kids. Every time, I've seen it my whole life, they jump on the white kids. What the whole world has now seen in Henry's video is what we all know anyway. It's a different treatment for white people compared to non-whites. And we've seen this spread through every single institution in our country. I can't breathe. The crying, the pleading. Do you know what's insane right now? Is you see that scumbag's brother who should be charged for perverting the course of justice. He's fucking lying.
And the father.
And a message to anyone who wants to claim representative communities, get that fucking family out of Southampton.
Okay, a few things to dissect here. Do we agree with the sentiments that he said?
I agree with the brother needs
some of
to
it.
be.
That's some of it, yeah.
Yes,
Crazy.
Some of it.
I do.
Now, he mentioned the family. No, to say they kicked the family out of Southampton.
Well, he's saying that because they were complicit in lying to the police, which could have contributed.
The brother or the whole family?
The mother hid the knife and the brother did the report.
Sorry, I didn't know that. Yo.
But
I was like, yo, why don't come?
But they shouldn't be kicked out of Southampton. They should be arrested and like everyone else
into prison.
So let me get this right.
Aren't they British, Tommy? Aren't they British?
This is news to me.
Go on.
The mother hid the knife.
Mother hid the knife.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
In fact, there's a clip. There's a post.
That's news to me.
That's a poster right now.
Wow.
In the group chat, if you can put up.
Yeah.
And we can read it. So Matt Godwin, he's a turned turned conservative. He was
he lost in Manchester.
Yeah, so he was that one there. It's a post. Yeah, that one there. Yeah, he was a academic for a very long time, writing against far right.
Yes,
he's turned to far right himself now, and he's been trying to position himself as a politician. He made a post, which we can see in a minute. Can you see it? Why is it not coming up? So it says
that's the mum, is it?
Yeah.
Who's this?
So Matt Godwin, he's a commentator.
No, who's this?
That's the
picture?
killer's
That's the
mum.
mother.
That's the mother.
That's the mother. Yeah,
Okay,
that's the
fine.
mother.
Yeah.
And it says, I'm about to go on to BBC Politics Live and call to deport the mother Vikram Dawah. She's an Indian national who hid the murder weapon as Henry lay dying. Do you agree? Tune in. And the post got 151,000 likes and 26,000 comments. Incredible.
That shows you the temperature of the people.
Yeah.
of the
Absolutely,
country, doesn't it?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, this again. I want to really reiterate this. Yeah, the Sikh community are free from this.
Yeah.
Yes, I really want, because you know what it is. We are Muslims. We know how.
Ali,
it is.
they're experiencing what we experience, right?
Exactly.
Collective blame.
Collective blame
on one crime.
Yes, but did you notice something in Tommy's speech?
He moved it to Muslims.
He mentioned
Listen,
Pakistanis.
The guy starts with Muslim Pakistan.
Yeah.
Now forget that. You
Yeah.
can see the crowd was a bit like, okay, anyways. Now the second thing is, when he mentioned the culprit, did you hear a single word of Sikh carrying a knife, religion?
Yeah.
Nada.
Yeah.
Nada. Culprit. And that's how it should be, by the way. What he did there, I agree, but disagree that he's been a hypocrite. When any kind of crime happens, black, white, green, yellow, whatever you are, culprit punished.
Yeah.
But do you see there was no Sikh there involved? Not that it should be. I agree that it shouldn't be. But why is it when the culprit is not even a Muslim, he starts with Pakistani Muslims?
Yeah.
You can't make this stuff up.
You know what it is, Ali and brothers, because you only have a bigger agenda than justice and truth.
Yeah.
And his agenda, he's a bad faith actor. Tommy's agenda isn't truth, isn't patriotism, isn't justice. It's purely anti-Muslim, anti-Islam.
Yes.
So everything has to go that way.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't,
everything.
he inserts it in.
Yeah, but he said that he has to push it in that direction because truth, justice, meaning country, patriotism, Britain,
Yeah.
England,
Yeah.
none of that means anything.
Yeah.
Because you're paid by an outside state to push an agenda.
Yeah. Brother Tawi and Brother Jordan, I'm very interested in, because, not in a million years would I thought that you would be like, I kind of agree with the geezer, yeah? So what was it that you agreed on that Tommy Robinson was spouting?
Condemning the brother.
Condemning the brother.
The brother has caused a lot of the. If anything, he should get life as well. I mean, he's reported the police. He's part of the reason why the police fumbled the way they did. I'm not defending the police, but he has framed it as a hate crime, and he's there. They didn't call the ambulance. They could have possibly saved Henry's life.
Yeah.
If you see someone dying on the floor,
Or tried.
and you don't even call the ambulance, that's got to be a crime.
Yeah.
And then being involved in hiding the evidence and all that. The whole family, there's a crime.
Sorry, it's despicable.
Crimes and all
So,
that.
like, it reminds me of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He said, this is why I'm talking about Islam's justice. That's why I believe Britain needs Islam in this sense. The Prophet said, if my daughter Fatima was to steal, because the capital punishment of stealing was what? If it's caught, there's precautions. It's not like that. There has to be an amount that you stole. You had to break in. It's not you stole an apple or something like that, because then that state's at fault. Why are you not being fed that you have to go and steal? So Islam has strict protocols. Witnesses, you went and broken into a house, went to the safe, opened the safe, stole a specific amount. Your arm is gone. Yeah. The Prophet said, even if it was Fatima, her arm will go. Not, it's my daughter. Consistency. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
There is no like, there's one rule for this and one rule for another. So subhanAllah, it's really, really sad. Now, there's a clip, Jabi.
Tommy is consistent.
Huh?
He is consistent.
Consistently inconsistent.
No, Tommy is consistent in his push against Muslims and Islam.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter what happens. He's consistent.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. His hatred.
Once he was against the radicals, wasn't he? Now he's against everybody.
This is the new Sadaqah Jariyah in town.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran,
A man pleading with Allah
To send him back so he could give sadaqah.
Why sadaqah? Because he knows the weight of sadaqah.
just £100.
You can help teach 20 to 60 people to learn
how to perform salah,
Recite Surah Fatiha,
and make wudu.
Click the link and donate now.
Yeah. And this also shows now this whole thing of assimilation is nonsense, because now they're coming for the Sikhs.
Nonsense.
Now they're coming for the Sikhs. There's no assimilation. Now people are attacking Tommy. By the way, there's the far right, the deep far right, which are like, you was praising the Sikhs and this and that.
Yeah.
Now they come for the far right. Now what it shows is this, guys. For those Sikhs, and like I even had my table, I had a black guy going past me and saying, "You Muslim," this. I said, "My friend, after the ship is out, they're coming for you next."
For you, man.
I said, "Why are you so excited?"
Yeah, you won the
and
Sikhs.
yes, exactly.
Won the
The
Sikhs
blacks,
last
the
year.
Asians, whoever. If you think that you're gonna fit in, my friend, once the Muslims are gone, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna say, "Hey, my friend, thanks for helping us.
Yeah.
It's time to go home.
Yeah.
It's time to go home, my brother." Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is why it's important for us to collectively be against this. Subhanallah.
Ali, can I? Sorry, just quickly, because it was to do with. Can I talk about Tommy's involvement indirectly in this case and the police and all that? We know at the moment that Islamic hate crime is on the rise, right?
Yeah.
There was a Sikh lady that was raped.
Yes.
Did you
Yes,
see that
thank you
case?
for bringing this
Because they thought she was a Muslim.
So, what was Muslim. So when the police are arriving to these cases, because there's such a large amount of hate crime at the moment, that adds to the assumption, right? Now, I'm not defending the police.
Great point.
The police need to be more cautious and look at what's going on. They see a guy like Henry on the floor, but Tommy Robinson indirectly contributes to this because that the hate crime is on such a rise. When the police turn up to something like this, it's another one. Oh, it's another one.
I'm gonna say, Jordan, I'll go further to say indirectly involved. Absolutely directly involved. Tommy Robinson. He's actually citing, he's fueling this hatred.
Yeah.
So he's directly involved, not indirectly. 100% directly involved. Most of the people that follow Tommy Robinson are lower working class. They're not educated.
Yeah.
They're from the demographic I was talking about before.
Yeah.
That didn't, socially engineered. That's why football and beer and lager is such a big thing in the white working class community. It's an outlet. It's what they've been given as a sort of like, you guys have pretty crap lives, but you have a football team and you have a lager, now it's a bit of Charlie or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's why it's always been like that. And my dad wanted me to. My dad was a lorry driver. He wanted me to be a bricklayer. You see the social engineering.
Yeah.
My next door neighbours, Tariq and Khalid Khan, one become a cyber expert, multi-millionaire, mashallah, and the other was a barrister. And they live next door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but you know,
engineering.
Bro, I told you though, in terms of, and for anyone,
I've got to be angry at someone, bruv. That's what they're thinking. Why? I've got to be angry at someone, and it's you.
You
can take it out on me.
Yeah.
Luckily, today I actually have this book with me. I don't agree with Owen Jones on everything.
What are you calling us? What are you calling us?
But this book is incredible.
Why?
Incredible. So it's about the demonization of the working class.
Wow.
And it talks about this. It talks about how the country for centuries has had the outlet to use the working class as a punching bag and punching down.
Yeah.
And how it's normal to demonize the working class.
Yeah.
But the moment you do it with like black people or other people, it's unheard of. In fact, he mentions in a story in here that he went to this metropolitan setting where, like, very middle class, rich, white people were sitting down for dinner, and they start making jokes about white working class people,
Wow.
And he realized, he thought about it, he had an epiphany. He's like, I'm sure if we were sitting here talking about this in the same manner about black people, that would be unacceptable.
And they use them to keep them uneducated,
of course,
to fight us.
Yeah.
Keep them in the lower.
Before immigrants come over here in the 50s and 60s, it was Catholics.
There's always someone.
Yeah.
Before that, it was Jews.
Yeah.
It's always we've always had to have someone.
Yeah.
There's always a public enemy number one. Yes.
French, the Welsh,
Let's
the
go
Scots.
to Henry's father's speech.
Yes.
This is very important.
Yeah, but I really want to talk a bit more about this as well,
crack
because
on,
I think it's such an important.
It's very vital,
subject.
very, very vital, by the way. Let's go to the one on thing. And by the way, Jabi, the one I've on WhatsApp group. Always look at the WhatsApp group, Habibi.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Novak. I am Henry Novak's father. To my left is my daughter Olivia Novak, Henry's older sister, and to her left is Lucy Ross, Henry Novak's mother. The jury confirmed what we've always known. Henry's life was taken from him unlawfully, violently, and without justification. Henry was 18 years old. He was kind, ambitious, loved, and full of promise. He had his whole life ahead of him, a degree to finish, places to see, and a future to build. That future was stolen from him, and no verdict or sentence will ever give it back. Henry did nothing wrong. He was one of the kindest, friendliest, and most inclusive people you could ever hope to meet. He was amazing in every way. On the 3rd of December last year, Henry was walking home from a night out with his university football teammates when he encountered Vikram Digwa, a man openly carrying a large knife on the streets of Britain. That knife was used to take Henry's life. He should have been safe walking home. Instead, he became another young life lost to the brutal reality of knife crime in this country. Henry had been stabbed multiple times, and as his chest filled with blood, he tried to escape. He was chased, abused, and filmed by Vikram Digwa and others. When police arrived, Henry was lying on the floor, barely able to sit up and plainly in severe medical distress. With his final words, he told officers that he could not breathe. he told them he had been stabbed. In fact, Henry told officers that he could not breathe 9 times. He told them he had been stabbed 4 times. The response from one officer was, "I don't think you have, mate." The police have said they were misled by the murderer and that the scene when they arrived was complex. Unfortunately, it seems to us the truth is much simpler. The police were told by our son himself and by a member of the public who called 999 that they heard someone shout that they had been stabbed. But the police did not believe them. Henry was pulled across the gravel, his hands forced behind his back, and he was placed in handcuffs. Instead of being treated as a dying victim, police formally arrested Henry for assault and read him his rights. That was the last thing he heard. Henry did not die with dignity. He did not die with the care he deserved. He lost consciousness before anyone believed him. Let me be absolutely clear. We hold Vikram Dawah solely and 100% responsible for the brutal murder of our son. But Henry should not have died on the streets of Southampton in police custody. The way he was treated was inhumane and degrading. His murderer, however, was afforded decency. He was believed. He was not handcuffed when arrested. He was not handcuffed when transported to the police station. As far as we understand, he was never handcuffed at all. And, as Vikram Dawah himself told the court, whilst under arrest for Henry's murder, police even took him to the kitchen so he could choose his food. The contrast is unbearable. We believe the officers involved remain on duty, although we understand some may have since resigned. One was allowed to leave the force before she had given an account to the Independent Office of Police Conduct of what happened that evening. The IOPC investigation remains ongoing. Whilst we await its final report, we are calling on the Home Secretary to ensure that the IOPC has the resources, authority and independence it needs to conduct a full, fearless and transparent investigation. Our families should not have to fight for the truth anymore. Despite the shocking actions of the police on that fateful night, the murder investigation was very different. We would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Senior Investigating Officer DCI Rebecca Bartholomew, the Serious Crime Team, and particular Officer in the case Claire Proctor. We would also like to thank our incredible family liaison officers Sarah Page and Trudy May for their diligence, professionalism and compassion throughout this investigation. We would also like to thank the CPS as well as Nick Lobenberg KC and Neil King for their outstanding advocacy skills in prosecuting this case. In our darkest period of our lives, knowing that people were fighting tirelessly for Henry gave us strength. They secured justice for our son, and for that, our family will be forever grateful. For us, there is no closure. There is no moment where the pain stops. There is no moment where the Henry-shaped hole in our family is filled. We will carry this grief every single day for the rest of our lives. But today matters. Today, Henry was believed. The truth has been recognized. Today, justice, in the eyes of the law, has been served. But justice alone is not enough. We want to use Henry's heartbreaking story to make change for the better. We do not want his death to be used to create further division, hatred, or tension. We want his story to make our streets safer for everyone. That is why we are calling on the government to treat knife crime as the national emergency that it is. We need real solutions. We need investment in prevention. We need stronger action on the sale, the ownership, and carrying of all knives. And as this case so painfully demonstrates, we need common sense applied to our laws. This doesn't mean knee-jerk reaction. This doesn't mean going to extremes. It just means a common sense approach to law and order. As the case C for the prosecution summed up in court, this is not a case about Sikhism. This is not a case about racism. This is a case about murder. People should not be able to walk openly through the streets of Britain carrying a 21-centimetre blade. As a family, we will not let this go. No other family should experience the heartbreak and horror of losing a child to knife crime. Finally, I want Henry to know, wherever he is, we are so proud of him and we love him beyond words. Thank you.
Class act, man.
Okay, so that was a speech of the father. You can see very honourable, you know, and he dealt with it in a way, subhanAllah, and you can see, you know, this is the family. If anyone has a right to speak, it's this family, and to see it getting hijacked by the likes of Thomas Robinson, it's you're adding salt to the wound.
It reminds me of Lee Rigby. Do you remember that horrific case? And the mum come out and said, "Please do not use my son. Do not politicise my son's death." And these guys just ignore it. And the same case is here. They've got the dad's pleading. You know, this is not about Sikhism. This is not about racism. This is a sick murderer that's murdered my son. I want change. He's even complimenting some of the investigators. You know, when you see how bad the police were, he's still saying, you know, we got justice in the end, and he wants change. Class act, the dad.
It's not well. He's a very good man, a very decent man, but I don't think it's justice.
No. Yeah,
I think he thinks it's just. Maybe he does. I don't know.
That's the best you get.
That's the best he's going to get, I suppose. But I don't think it's justice.
And also, what I really found it remarkable is that he's sort of thinking of like the wider context of the
knife
crime, and he's saying, you know, he's calling for a common sense approach to the law, and the fact that, and this is something that we haven't discussed too much today, which is this knife crime thing comes under a wider context of what happens with knife crime in the UK anyway. You know, the fact that there's so many youth who die on the streets because of these knives. And I think this is kind of like the backdrop of what we've seen here today. What I find very interesting is that the knife itself, there is a bit of a debate that took place. And the reason why this has stirred up so much traffic is because the case obviously happened last year, happened in November last year, but the sentencing happened earlier this month, so a couple of days ago, and then I think there was a debate between the prosecution and the Sikh community about the definition of what the kirpan is, because the Sikh community was basically saying that what was used is not a kirpan.
Yes.
You know, but the judge and the judge rejected that and said this is a kirpan. You know,
on what grounds?
No, the court. This is what I saw. He had a kirpan around his neck, so he had a smaller knife, and he had a blade. So they saying religiously that was met by the small thing around his neck. The thing he's holding is a blade. Now, is it a Sikh ceremonial sword? Maybe it is. And this is normally given to practicing Sikhs. You know, it's a pillar of practicing Sikhs. His brother or his other one, they didn't have one apparently. So this guy's got a history of violence. He's someone that I wouldn't afford, you know, a 21 centimeter knife around London to.
Well, So from what I'm reading here, is that the murder weapon, in addition to a small kirpan, which he chose to carry, was a much more larger one of 20.
So he had a religious kirpan around his neck. Right.
And they have this thing in Sikhism called Darum Yud. It's called the righteous war. So they say, okay, they carry that, but in righteous causes. Obviously, we can see that. You know, the Sikh community condemned it. Should we quickly just watch a video?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
You know the video I just taking you now.
And we talk a bit more about that as well.
Because I can remember speaking to some Sikhs, well, interested in a university, and they were talking about, you know, in Islam, jihad, and this, that, and they were talking about this. I said, and I did say, like, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you guys do carry weapons as well. So in a righteous sense, you can. The same with Islam. But it's sad because now the Sikh community, you can see.
It's interesting. They feel they have to come out.
They have to
as a community.
Look what he says now. This is what he says now.
It was his choice to draw a weapon and use it in an offensive manner. that does not correlate with the Sikh tenets of the Sikh faith. We condemn this action fully. As in the strongest terms, Vikram had the choice. He chose to do what he did, and for that he is solely responsible. But with that action, it's brought the whole Sikh community into the spotlight. Whether intended or unintended, we now have to deal with that. And we have to now not only repair the damage done, but we have to collectively protect not only the community, but the kakar as well.
This is the new Sadaqah Jariyah in town.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran.
A man pleading with Allah
to send him back so he could give sadaqah.
Why sadaqah? Because he knows the weight of sadaqah.
Just £100.
You can help teach 20 to 60 people to learn
how to perform salah,
recite Surah Fatiha,
and make wudu.
Click the link and donate now.
So this is something we can all relate to. When you hear that, you're like, it's like when a terrorist attack happens. Please don't let it be.
Yeah, don't let it be.
Please don't let it be a Muslim.
Yeah, please.
Because this is what happens.
Yeah.
And this is.
I didn't think the Sikhs would have to do that.
But this is. It shows you. Number one, this says assimilation fingers in the bin. Number two, now the Sikhs are they were getting this. A lot of Sikhs in America are getting attacked because they wear the turban. They will be confused to be Muslims. Yeah. But it shows you now, it doesn't need to be confusion. Now, because of one irresponsible behavior, which we have had as well as Muslims as well, idiots that look like us and talk like us and walk like us, doing an act, and we have to suffer the consequences. The Sikh community is now understanding how traumatizing it is, because now the Sikh women, they don't have to wear a specific outfit, so you can't really distinguish between them. But the men who have to wear the turbans, and imagine they're carrying that thing, they're going to be like, yo, hold on a second, man, that's that guy. Did you get it?
Yeah.
And it's sickening, because then they're feeling unsafe. Why shouldn't our Sikh sisters and Sikh brothers walk in peace? Now they have to look behind them. And this is what the Muslim community has been going through for decades, and it's not nice. And this applies to anyone. Systematically, if you're white, blue, green, whatever you are, to put a label on someone because of a culprit, it affects everyone and ruins everyone's life.
Exactly. We haven't put this into the spotlight, have we? This is the far right, and Tommy and it'd be interesting, the Sikhs that attend these UTK rallies and support Tommy, what are they thinking now? Because all of a sudden, are they your friends? And like you said, you warned them on.
They're never their friends.
A year ago, that they're coming for you next. You might join them in. Well, we're British and the Muslims don't assimilate like us.
Well, if you look at history, that's what happens, isn't it? You have one bad guy, then that one guy, then there's another one. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
They're always moving on to some new group, new religion, new ethnic group, new whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, looking at the case itself, obviously I don't have all the details here, but and kind of focusing on the kirpa. Interestingly, kirpa actually, the etymology of the word from Proto-Indo-European language, it means mercy, or grace or compassion, and ironically, this is one thing that I feel like at the case that Novak didn't get. He didn't get mercy or compassion when he was being arrested, which is very, very ironic. But the Sikhs are expected to embody qualities of a Sant Sipahi, which is sort of a sane soldier, so showing no fear on the battlefield, but treating enemies humanely. So there is a great honor and responsibility that comes with carrying these knives.
Yeah.
And this is why they've been carried for such a long time.
I don't think it should be carried. Like, personally, I believe anything that you can have a propensity to use in a situation where you're angry, and they always say the part of the rational brain, when you get angry, goes to, in that moment, bro, you don't want to be having a weapon that you can get to an altercation. You might have a first instinct of, look, people do stuff like, oh, I don't know, I just grabbed something. It is a double-edged sword. I understand if it's a religious thing, but a weapon, like, bro, if you were in a religious thing, like the Jews wear that thing, you can't really use that as a weapon. You get it? The turban, the Muslims, okay, what do we have as a Muslim? A beard. I can't use my beard to, but to have a weapon.
But it goes back to it goes back to the country. Goes back to the history of this country. When you think of the World War II, there were Sikh battalions who were, organized to fight in the Middle East, and many of the British commanders would command Sikh as a what's it called? what's the word called? A knightly class of people, you know. So Sikhs has always in the history of this country.
They have warrior names. I've met
Warrior,
They've got warrior names.
Warrior class. So the Brits have always seen the Sikhs as such people, that they're an honourable warrior class that has serviced the empire. Okay, so I do understand that for a very long time people were carrying these knives, and we generally didn't have these cases where, you know, they were used to stab people.
I think this is the only case, isn't it?
It's the only case.
Is this the only case?
In recent history, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make a case if it's like, you know what, this not tends to happen.
Yeah.
But again, you know, one life is too, like what Allah says, if you kill one person,
Good point.
it's
Good
one
point.
too many.
Good point.
And to me, it's like, because it's a weapon. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Just
I think it's only a weapon if you intend to use it as a weapon. So look, all religions in this country, there's law, and then you've got religious exemptions, and Muslims also benefit from some of those. So halal meat would be one. The niqab, women wearing the niqab, they're looking, the same people that want to ban the Quran want to ban that. And you could say it's not a weapon. You could say it's not a weapon. No, but people are saying on the niqab that people may use it to breach security. You know, there are arguments.
I'll agree with
Now,
that. I would say in that circumstance, she should not be in a car.
I would only agree with you if Sikhs were using it as a weapon. But the facts say that they've been around for decades in this country not using it. So for me, it's a pillar of their faith. It's a religious exemption, which I support by the law, which we also benefit from. So I think, as Muslims, if we're saying ban the Quran, I think it's a.
Do you think the equivalent is the same? Because the thing is, you have a weapon. It's a knife, and with knife crime, there's so many.
I don't. I mean, this is where me and Jordan we have slightly different opinions. Is that I don't think that you can compare a piece of clothing, whether it's a hijab, whether it's a wig, whether it's a skull cap, whether it's a Rastafarian dread, whatever, to a potential a weapon.
Yes.
It's not a potential weapon. It is a weapon because it's a knife. Can we work with it though? Because legally you're allowed to carry a very small knife, right? Like a 3-inch or something, like a pen knife.
Yeah.
Can we work with it? Can we accommodate them?
Thank you. Good. So you're right.
They respect it, but
because if I play devil's advocate, because we have no Sikh community member here, they argue that the moment you use it to stab, it loses the status of a kafir.
Yes, but bro, it's like
that's their interpretation.
That's interpretation.
It didn't help Henry, did it?
And it was rejected. It was rejected.
Yeah.
So
rejected?
it was rejected by the
what was rejected?
The interpretation.
That it ceases to be a Quran.
It ceases to be.
And remember, but in this case, he had a big blade.
Call it,
In addition to his Quran. So I'm supporting that big blade that
But there is
used for Henry.
But to agree with you, Tawin and Ali, the defense argument was that Dawah was a member of a Nihang order of Sikhs. This is a particular order, who have a tradition of carrying a second visible blade. His defense successfully argued that Dawah held a genuine belief that carrying the larger knife was part of his faith, which helped lower his minimum sentencing tariff from starting point of 25 years down to 21 years.
It's more problematic.
And that is the problem here. That's the problem. That's the problem.
What's happening now is you're seeing, because this is a religious right, your sentence being dropped with
Yes,
somebody's life.
wrong.
That's wrong. Yeah, I disagree with that.
And to be honest, not only that, I'm trying to find the footage where there was an altercation before, and he had a massive sword.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was with Henry, but there's a footage I'm going to find.
I don't think it was. That was in the daylight, wasn't it?
That was in the daylight.
And he was dressed up in traditional clothing.
Can we find it?
I'm going to find it. But
I personally don't think it's fair to point at this case and look at it and say, look, Sikhs might use their knife when
they haven't done.
No, I think Ali, you admitted that there's barely any cases of it. So if Sikhs are not, if they were abusing their right, because remember, this is a pillar of their faith. This isn't just like they're carrying a knife. This is a pillar of their Sikhism.
I agree.
So a practicing Sikh, if you take that right away from them, they may have to leave the country or something. And all I'm saying is, they may. Well, if you as a Muslim, if one of your pillars were taken away, would you not leave?
To me, it's look. I believe that the track record is clear that Sikhs they don't use that. It's clear. We have to be just.
But you still want to ban the Quran?
I would say because, for example, in a situation like that, you need to understand you're dealing. You know, Islam deals with the reality of the world. Is that in a situation where you're fighting and if I have a weapon on me in the moment of anger, it's harmful. It's a danger to me because I know in that moment of anger I can do something crazy.
Across all the decades, Sikhs aren't doing that.
They haven't, true. But again, one life is too much. Like to me, Henry's life is too dear for me to come and say, let's allow it, because it can maybe happen again. Do we need it? It's a second instance to happen to say, okay, actually, let's talk about this. No, it should stop from the get-go to me. And I just believe the whole niqab thing, it doesn't equate to a weapon.
I don't think it is the same. No, I don't.
It's not the same. It's not the same because currently the law is that you can't carry around a knife. Where you can. One day they might change that, and I understand what you mean by. At some point. To me, the kirpan is only a weapon if you intend to use it as one. Yeah.
And
if not, it's a religious symbol that they wear.
And I feel so torn.
And it's
even I am.
For me, I want to be fair to the Sikh community.
Yeah.
And I don't want to encroach on their religious practices.
Because it is mandatory.
Do you agree? Do we benefit from religious exemptions as well?
I think we do.
So at work you may get to go and pray. We can.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Because look, if you're going to just boil it down to a very simple argument, should you be allowed to carry a knife or should you not? Just look at it from that viewpoint.
Yeah.
Nearly everyone in the community, unless they're carrying a knife themselves, will say, no, you shouldn't be allowed to carry a knife. The only people that should be allowed to carry a weapon are the police.
I think part of the problem is because there's been a lack of. Most people were ignorant to what the kirpan actually was, right? So most people were outraged. Sikhs carry knives. Yeah. But when you actually look into it, there's no cases of them using them. It's a religious pillar.
And that's the confliction. And we know that it's not used that way.
I just think if the Sikhs are honouring their religious exemption. Then I think if we as Muslims support that,
do we wait for someone else to die.
That's the thing.
No, look, it's been decades.
They've been here. Now it's time.
But you know,
why not trust the Sikhs at the moment?
But okay. You see, because I think we're quite ignorant.
I think the assumption there is that Henry, if you ban the kirpan, Henry still wouldn't have had a blade or something. That's not. He had a kirpan around his neck. And a separate blade.
Yeah, but he thought by his religious grouping that he was allowed to carry the second one.
Yeah.
So,
but this is again, we don't have someone that represents the Sikh community. So, I think something that's very important is that, Jordan, I agree with you in a sense. I agree with Tawi and Ali in the sense that there has to be a debate made about it.
Why wasn't this debate done 10 years ago? Why are we doing it now? We're doing it because Tommy and Nigel Farage are talking about it.
Exactly.
So I don't agree with that either. Why? The Sikhs have been.
Tommy's not talking about it.
The Sikhs have been carrying it without any problems of knife crime.
Absolutely.
And now we're saying, we ban it because it's a knife.
But it's gone now. It's it's breached into like public.
It is where it is.
It is where it is now. So we have to have a conversation about it. But I would just say that. I agree with you in the sense of religious exemptions, but I also agree with you in terms of symbolism. I mean, the kirpan is so important that they go to sleep with it and when they have showers with it. So it's profound.
Is it like a pillar of their faith?
It's a pillar.
Very, very, very
It's a pillar. They've got 5 pillars, and the kirpan is one of them.
Yeah.
For a practicing religious Sikh.
Baptized Sikh, as it were.
Yeah, like initiate.
And they have other religious exemptions, like a Sikh, Ali. A Sikh, if he's on a motorcycle, he doesn't have to wear a helmet. Whereas me and you would, by law, we legally have to wear a helmet. A Sikh, because of his because of turban.
And on construction sites, they don't have to wear hard hats.
I don't have an issue with that.
But that's his choice to make that risk. Carrying a knife is you're taking a risk for someone else's choice.
Okay, but this here, where our distinction, again, I'm not saying Sikhs have this. We can see clearly they do not have this thing of using it.
No, they don't.
It's clear, but not wearing a helmet is something that you take your own.
It's a personal risk, yeah.
Now, when you have a knife, that involves someone else.
I think the thing you're doing is you are making the kirpan as a weapon when the Sikhs aren't using it as it.
It is a weapon. We're not saying the Sikhs use it as a weapon. It is.
But they are calling it a religious symbol. They're calling it a religious symbol.
But that's like saying the hijab is just a piece of cloth.
Yeah, it is.
But it isn't, because symbolically.
Oh yeah, no, but it is a piece of cloth.
I know, but symbolically, we don't see it as just a piece of cloth.
Okay, good. So a knife is a knife. But what it can do.
No, but symbolically, it's not a knife.
Okay, Ali, people could start wearing the niqab and start robbing banks, and they could start breaching security.
And I believe Islamically, the Sharia tells us in this certain circumstances, you're not allowed to wear the niqab. You're living under
so would you be up for banning the niqab, yeah?
Let me tell you something. I believe Islamically, if you start getting people who are niqab start robbing places, Islamic scholars will give a fatwa and say you live under this rule, you live under the British government, we live here, we've had a contract, our passport is our agreement that we are here to be peace. And if people are misusing the niqab...
but currently they're not misusing it, right?
Yes.
And Sikhs aren't misusing the kirpan. So the analogy is they could. You're saying they could use it. Niqabs could do that if they wanted to.
True. So let's say in a situation where a group of people who are dressed up in niqabs go and rob, and in that situation they killed 3 people.
I agree with you.
In that
if
situation,
that happened, if it was one instance, I wouldn't suddenly ban the niqab. No way.
I think this is again. It's an ongoing debate.
I wouldn't blame if they say, you know what,
You've got sisters for hundreds of years just wearing it, not causing any issues, and there's one incident, and you call for banning it.
I just get the feeling we're comparing apples and pears.
Yeah, true. Again, yeah. The niqab is not equation.
I feel like you guys are calling it a weapon. I think if you ask
it's not a weapon, why are they wearing it for righteous defense?
But they're not using it, are they? It's a symbol that they have around.
So if it's a symbol, let's go with the symbol.
There's no stats saying that Sikhs are going around, and Sikhs get into altercations all the time. They're not pulling out their kabans.
Okay, let me make it clear here. We're not saying Sikhs have the propensity of being.
They're very peaceful.
They're very peaceful. Not only that, they're like every human being. By the way, we're not saying the Sikh is just peaceful, and every community is peaceful.
Yeah.
And you have nutters, like this Sikh guy. They're nutters everywhere. However, you cannot get away and say it's not a weapon.
It is a weapon.
You cannot come and say it's not a weapon.
Well, but can we work with that? Is there a compromise where we can?
I'm saying it's only a weapon if you're using it as one. If you have an intention to use it as a weapon, it's a weapon. If it's hanging around your neck as a religious symbol, you can't say a Sikh's carrying around a weapon. I don't think so.
Something small.
Something within law, 3 inches.
Yeah, because everyone has that right. I have a right to carry that 3 inch for a variety of reasons. Yeah. However, but if it's something bigger than that, which we saw the picture, it was a massive.
Yeah, it was 21.
I'm with you on that one. I'm not up for people carrying around swords around, and I don't know. Maybe we need a Sikh on here to tell us what the. Maybe we need a limit.
You should have one.
Maybe we need to know.
I've been trying to defend.
I wouldn't want it banned off them completely. If it's able to make the knife smaller or something.
I think we should have a discussion. I think we should have a discussion.
Yeah,
there should be a discussion about it.
Yes, just the way, for example, niqabis taking the niqab of going into a bank or something like this.
Yeah.
Protocol should be in place to protect the public. I don't care if it's a Muslim, Sikh, Hindu, Jew. I don't give a damn what it is. Protecting the public is a priority here. Do you get it? A life is more dear in Islam. A life is more important than even
But then Ali, if you're talking about banning the niqab in public places, then ski masks or anything that obscured the face.
Yes, good. Same apply everywhere. Why is it only?
That's what I'm saying. They would have to apply across the board
100%.
consistently. Yeah,
100%. We can't have a special rule unless there's. Like
you can. In this country, this country understands that there are religious people that hold things dear to them, so exemptions are given to people, and I think we got to be careful. If we're going to say actually that should we want it fair for everybody. I get the argument, but if there's no issues being caused, I have no issue with the law saying you know what, there's a religious exemption for that group.
And this is why I love this country with all my heart. Yeah. I love this country with all my heart because the UK, England, Scotland, Wales, it's just shown time and time again, despite of all these historical tragedies and historical injustices that the empire was involved in, but then that's history. That's what happens throughout the entire world. I love this country because this country understood something very, very dear to humanity and what humanity is, which is that if there is an empire, if there is a community of people, how do we make it work for everyone else? And this is such a difficult task.
Especially like you said, the Sikhs came over in the war and actually worked with the Brits to actually help build and stuff. So there's that relationship. There's that relationship.
Yeah. It's a difficult task.
But it's a
and remember,
conversation to multiculturalism, isn't it?
They do give us religious exemptions. Halal food. I know you might think it's apples and pears, but halal food is still a religious exemption that people are in Parliament are saying ban because it's cruel to animals. Yeah. Well, the law is saying no, actually, because Muslims eat halal, we're going to keep it
and the
for
Jews
that group of people.
The only reason they haven't banned halal is because of the kosher. That's the only reason.
You're right.
That's the only reason for that. But they're not doing us any favours.
You're right.
It's just a case, that's going to open up a can of worms with a kosher.
Yeah.
This is the new Sadaqah Jariyah in town.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran.
A man pleading with Allah
to send him back so he could give sadaqah.
Why sadaqah? Because he knows the weight of sadaqah.
Just £100.
You can help teach 20 to 60 people to learn
how to perform salah,
recite Surah Fatiha,
and make wudu.
Click the link and donate now.
Okay, let's go to the next clip, inshallah. We're going to wrap up in about maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, talk about the protest as well and the sentiments of the people.
There's riots. I heard there's some
some clips we're going to play in a minute.
Let's go to the clip that I would say, and then we're going to go to Nigel Farage because he said there should be outright rage, cold rage or something like that.
Yeah,
that's a good
but let's go to the one that Dawood just said, bro.
Typical with them, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about this, and
The one thing they all have in common is that they've been used politically, right? That's the one thing they all have in common.
I want to see police be able to police impartially. I don't want them to take into consideration
that's
that
what I'm
white,
saying.
Muslim, brown, black. It's just
So there is some. We need to agree that there is some political correctness. Is there?
But this comes down to that thing about the police race action plan.
So are you guys agreeing with two-tier policing? Because I think that's a myth. I think that's an absolute
really.
myth.
I think there's some truth to it, and I think it comes from like I don't want to like support the narrative Tommy Robinson, but if there's truth to it. There are situations where officers are made to feel like if I do this, am I going to be labeled racist? And it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Do your job. Who cares what it's
yeah,
what?
that's right. Yeah.
Just do your bloody job.
I'd rather
you get
do
it?
your job.
I'd rather you save a life.
Yeah.
And then deal with explanations. You get it? Of this save the life.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn if it's the grooming. I don't care who the hell it is, bro. Do your job properly. Then you can deal with this. Was this a racing? No, it's like that. And what could you say? Even in the grooming situation, they're labeling it as Muslims and Pakistanis, etc. Just do your job.
Do your job.
And then statistics will show, for example,
Yeah.
even if it's predominantly, let's say, Pakistani men or a Hindu, who gives a damn? That is secondary.
Yeah.
Do your job. Save the girls, innocent people being dying. That's the critical thing here, saving a life. Once you've done that, then we can talk about, okay, who's the main culprits? Even if the main culprits are, let's say, Pakistani, who gives a damn? You can't blame every society.
I agree with that.
I've got a question. Who's politicised? Who's making this a thing?
The far right.
No. Who's making the police having to sort of have these considerations? I don't want to.
The left, they will blame the left.
Yeah, maybe it is. I don't want to see the police taking a knee. I want to see the police dancing with transgenders.
Yes.
I don't want to see the police shaking hands with people at protest. I just want you to police.
Yes.
Just be a policeman and stand there
Yes, do your job.
and keep the peace.
Yes.
I don't care whether they're black, white, brown, or any other. Keep the peace, mate, and that's your job. I don't want to see you involved in anything else.
May I add some more nuance to what he was saying though, because I think, and this is why I asked for the clip to be played, because I feel like Matt Goodwin is a bad faith actor, because what he's doing is, if you think about all the cases that he's mentioned, if you look at the cases, they're all separate. I mean, he mentioned Manchester bombing. He mentioned, what was the other one? Southport. Where's the connection there? There is no connection. And the problem is this. He says it could have been prevented. The last attack, by the IS, Irish so-called terrorists.
IRA,
sorry. Was in 2003 in Birmingham. There was Irish, terrorists, according to the UK, who placed the bomb about 20 years ago. And that was not prevented. So the idea that somehow, if there was less, prejudice or against a particular group of people, that there would be less crime in the UK or less attacks in the UK, it's ridiculous to say that. He might be right in the sentiment of like, okay, do we have to look at the policing and how the policing is working? But to string that sentence together and then draw a conclusion where each point doesn't even connect, I don't know about
But do you know the connection is? Just say it in the same sentence.
Oh yeah. But
yes,
that's what you need to do.
No.
Tommy Robinson just needs to say Muslims in the same sentence.
The Southport guy wasn't Muslim.
He was Muslim.
He wasn't Muslim.
But he could argue, well, he was a child of an immigrant. But then I'm like,
he was a Christian choir boy. The only
boy.
connection is because he had some weird Al Qaeda manual or
Yeah.
something. But he also had other
Yeah.
things. So they linked it as a Muslim and they lied about it that he's a Muslim.
Yeah.
So actually, what they enforced that on it.
So, Brother Tawi, you spoke about the police race action plan.
Race action plan, yeah.
So,
Are you looking at that now?
Yeah. There's so I'm still, there's like 4 core pillars that make them sort of like so the internal culture and inclusion, fostering an inclusive workplace, support on careers of black personnel, and applying zero tolerance to racist. That's pillar 1. Pillar 2, use of police powers, rigorously scrutinizing powers like stop and search, vehicle stop, taser deployment, using and explain or reform approach to tackle disparities. Pillar number 3, community relations, building active partnerships involving black communities in grassroots groups directly in policing, oversight, and decision making. Protection from crime, and enhancing safety, justice for black victims of crime, particularly a focus on vulnerable young people and missing persona cases. And this was launched in 2022, which obviously was a reaction to what happened with George Floyd in 2022.
Okay, I found the footage.
So it goes against what I mean. I don't want to keep disagreeing, but you know, this two-tier policing.
Yeah.
The idea that this is there is because the chief of the Met Police came out and said there's institutional racism.
Yeah.
The stats show that you're more likely to die in police custody if you are of a colour.
Yeah.
Stop and search is predominantly black people. Right. So I think they've reversed it by suggesting two-tier is against white people. Not at all, mate. I mean, and I know what you mean. I don't want police to be scared to be called racist either. That is a bad thing. But the reason that's happening is because of what
So it's cause and effect. Now they're going to the other extreme.
Yeah.
See, now what's happening is now white people are getting it. They are seeing how it is to be brown or black. Now they're going to reverse it again. Just do your bloody job.
Why exactly, do your job. And I agree with Dawah's points about the working class. They are being. I agree with
we need to prove ourselves that we're not racist towards the browns. Now we're abusing the white population. Then it's going to be just do your job.
Just do your job, yeah.
But there is a beauty to this, and this goes back to why I love this country so much. There is a beauty in this that we're humans. We're not God. We won't get it right the first time. There is an attempt to rid of the wrongs of the past and do something that
I wouldn't use the word beauty.
No, there is a beauty in the attempt to do the right thing.
Oh, I mean, you can give but it's done in the wrong way. The execution is wrong.
No, but the execution
the
is wrong.
intention is right. No, but the application is
but remember, these are human beings. It is easy when it's an injunction from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because the consistency is there. But when there's human beings coming up with a law, laws get changed all the time. Laws. I'm saying the higher morale, the intent, which is they're attempting to reach. That's what I find.
For me, it should just be about keeping law and order.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you don't have to please anyone.
But that wasn't the case at the beginning.
No,
right?
it wasn't. No, it was.
This is the footage. This is the footage of the same man. I don't know if it's Henry, but the altercation on the road. He's got a sword. Let's watch this.
Come, recording him. Come on, man, please. You got big problem, mate. You got big problem. We will see, kurwa. Not nice. Not nice. Not kurwa nice.
Okay, come back. Okay, so look, I'm just trying to put things in perspective here. Yeah? They're using Polish language. Now, we are looking at the surname. I'm not making a connection, but they are Polish family. If I'm not mistaken, no. Let's just be honest here, because it might be that a racist altercation may have happened. Because you can see now this guy carrying a bloody sword. We've said outright there is no excuse to take anyone's life, but it seems like they were being. It does seem like these. I don't know what it is because it can't be the second time. Is this either this guy's a troublemaker?
This guy has a history, I think, of violence and stuff like that.
Yes, but I'm just trying to understand something. These guys are recording and laughing at them. There is something going on here. Now, let's suppose this guy was prone to racism. I don't give a damn. What the hell, bro? Go to the police and report it. You have no right to take anyone's life. I don't think Henry's in this situation. This is something completely different. But there are Polish people in there that are using Polish language. So even if that is the case that he was getting abused, regardless, here you got a massive sword.
Can only
brother,
escalate the situation.
Where we stop him, brother? Like, you get it? Like, there's a sword,
Yeah.
and I think one of them said no knife or something like that. Yeah. So this gives some more perspective again, but it gives no one any right to take anyone's life. Racing, brother. The racing I went through in Grimsby, where I lived, brother, you can't go out. You're being called the P word. My black friends were called the P word. He was like, brother, I'm not even at least if you're gonna use the N-word, with all due respect, yeah, we were getting called all kinds of stuff, but never did I think to myself of taking somebody's life. Yes, you can have a little scrap fight here and there, etc., defend yourself, but to go to the level of taking somebody's life is
But if you'd have been allowed to carry a knife, Ali, that could have only escalated the situation.
That's what I'm saying, because here it's not about Sikhs being violent.
If you'd have had a kosh on you or a hammer on you, you could have escalated the situation.
Ali, knife crime is rife. Knife crime is rife, and these people are not allowed to carry knives.
Grab it, man. I've had fights in the club. But in the club, bro, I'm grabbing beer bottles, bro.
Yeah.
I'm grabbing stuff, bro. People think.
But let's go back to the point that Sikhs are not doing that. So I know, but they're not. No, but what you're saying is, well, they could do it because they've got it on them, right?
Okay, let me rephrase it.
But that's not happening over the last decades.
Okay, let me put it like this. Forget Sikhs, forget Muslims, forget everyone. I'm not saying Sikh community. As men, can we become violent?
Sure.
Okay, we use more lethal force because we have the capabilities. Do we have the propensity as men to grab onto things in a fight?
Yeah.
Okay, Sikhs are human beings. they can grab onto a knife.
So why haven't they in the last few decades?
Because it wasn't a case before. You didn't say this last week, or not you
Yeah,
personally.
we're only talking about this because
Yeah.
the far look. How
No,
many
no,
how
because
many
now we're
people
seeing-
died from knife crime this week?
Many.
Loads.
Yes.
And we're talking about this one,
Yeah.
and we're talking about the Sikh community. I don't think.
Okay, good.
that's,
Okay.
I
Let's
think
make
that's
this,
right.
Okay. Let me break this down. This might make sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we agree that there are gangsters or whatever roadmen on the road who carry knives?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the
Okay.
time.
Do you think any of them intend on stabbing? It might be, or
Yes.
it might not be.
Yes.
Do we agree that there might be situations where they intend not to, but they have it on them and they end up using it?
Yeah.
That's my point. That's all I'm
I don't
saying.
think that's.
That's all I'm saying. That
Yeah,
a
yeah,
roadman who's
I
got a
understand
knife
your point. I
is
understand your
that
point.
all I'm saying is it's not a Sikh issue. It's any human being issue. If you have something, you have the propensity in that situation. Your life might be. in
Sure, but
danger,
you're given a
whatever.
hypothetical that it might happen,
Hypothetical,
even though it
because
doesn't happen.
Roadmen who carry knives,
Yeah.
they are doing it. Why? Because they believe the ops are going to come and get them.
Yeah.
Protection.
Exactly.
A
So they are-
roadman carrying a knife
Deterrent.
is no way the same as a Sikh
100%,
person practicing their faith.
100%,
No way. Yeah.
I 100%. I'm saying they end up in that moment of anger using it. Is my key. Not a Sikh
Okay.
issue, not a roadman.
But you
issue.
agree that doesn't happen though.
I've seen
It's
Because
less
that's
likely-
Ali's theory.
because
That's
online
Ali's
I've seen many Sikhs getting into street fights,
Yeah.
and
And they're not grabbing
they're
kabans.
not using.
Do they all have it though? I've spoken to a lot of Sikh people. They don't have
Not
it.
all of them have it. They
Not
don't.
all of them have it.
Okay.
No.
That's the key.
I think it's an ongoing debate. I think it's for the Sikh community to, if there's like
I think it'd be nice to
religious,
get them-
yeah,
If you're watching, it'd be really nice to get a Sikh
yeah,
here
yeah.
to educate us. I might be
Yeah.
completely wrong, bro. I might be completely wrong. To me, it's not a Sikh issue. It's not a Muslim issue. It's a uniform
Community issue. So yeah, it's a general issue. Yeah.
It's a human issue.
Yeah,
It's a human
yeah.
issue. I mean, well, that's it. Do you want to watch Nigel Farage or you just forget this? Just,
What's he got to say?
what is he saying?
Yeah, I think Nigel Farage.
Let's
I've
go
got a
back-
work call at 1 o'clock for a few minutes, guys, and then
no problem.
I'll be free.
How long you got left?
I've got 7 minutes left.
Okay, we will finish by then.
Yeah.
Let's just watch the Nigel Farage on Jabi. It's,
Do we have to watch Nigel? Do we?
Yeah.
I feel like he's got.
I think he's calling for serious riots.
Yeah.
This is the new Sadaqah Jariyah in town.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran.
A man pleading with Allah.
To send him back so he could give sadaqah.
Why sadaqah? Because he knows the weight of sadaqah.
Just £100.
You can help teach 20 to 60 people to learn
how to perform salah,
Recite Surah Fatiha,
and make wudu.
Click the link and donate now.
The Henry Novak case has not had the coverage and publicity that it deserves. A young man is stabbed 5 times in the street. The police are called. The assailant, the man who's committed the stabbing, says Mr. Novak made racist comments. As a result of that, the police don't believe that he's been stabbed, don't check that he's been stabbed, put him in handcuffs, and he dies lying on the ground. Does this remind you of the George Floyd case just a few years ago that happened in the Midwest of America? Within 24 hours of that, because Floyd was black, we had Parliament statue being defaced in Parliament Square, uproar of the most extraordinary kind. And yet, has the Prime Minister taken the knee for this young man in the way that he did for George Floyd? Has he? Hell. It's almost as if because he's white and he was accused of racism that nobody cares. However, there are some key pieces of evidence here that we need. Forget whatever prison sentence the assailant gets. What we need is the body cam footage from the police to be released to see whether they took the false cry of a racist allegation more seriously than someone being stabbed in the streets. I think we deserve to know the truth about Henry Novak, how he died, what the role of the police was, and what instructions they've got from their senior officers. Release the footage and do it now.
Talking about, using and scapegoating situations and just weaponizing political points, scoring political points.
Point scoring with it, yeah.
It's absolutely disgusting. And for anyone who identifies with reform or identifies with sort of a far right, far right political spectrum, please, this is the perfect example here that these people do not care about anyone but their own gains in these situations. He compares this to George Floyd. He compares this to the protests that were taking place in 2020. I mean, where do we stop? I mean, if you wanted any evidence that people like Tommy Robinson, people like Nigel Farage, including Keir Starmer as well, he's doing it just the opposite. that people are just using this for their own gains. This is the starkest example that we could use.
Yeah, I don't even think commenting on him is justified because it's just such a weak.
I think there may, because this wasn't the clip, but there is clip of him calling for people to kind of not take up arms, but there's some kind of wording he used. I won't misquote him, and he's actually trying to do what he did at the Southport, which was create riots.
Okay.
Because they can capitalise more on that.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of, look, is this the same as George Floyd case? George Floyd, we saw the policeman have his knee on the guy's neck and directly be responsible for his death. The police were abysmal in this case, but the police aren't the ones that actually killed Henry.
Exactly.
They're completely different cases, and you know, these guys are using this case to try and push their political agenda forward, which is sick. It's sick.
It's
and
absolutely sick. Yeah.
I just want to show something quickly, but I can't find it. It's we'll probably put it on the screen anyways. It's this Herman. What's his name?
Herman Kapoor. I think.
Yeah, he was on his knees saying this is for Henry. Yeah, and then somebody put, you're the same guy who said, I'll get a white man to clean my shoes. Yeah, you can see it's just an act, etc.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah. But again, in a nutshell, Ram says that for us here at the Dawah podcast, to us, any life being taken, we don't care. Like with us, Allah tells us clearly in the Quran that He ordered the Bani Israel, the children of Israel, that if you kill one soul, you've killed the whole of humanity. SubhanAllah. And to us, it's not like that. You know, in Judaism, the actual scripture is very interesting. This very same statement in their scripture. I don't know if it's Talmud. You know what it says? It says if you kill one Jew, it says if you kill the whole of humanity. And Allah repeats the statement by saying if you kill one soul, not one Jew. SubhanAllah makes it distinct, like, you know, it's for all mankind. And we condemn this, you know. At the end of the day, it's sickening, saddening. Imagine your child being a victim, being stabbed, and the police is arresting them. And that's the way he went. It's sickening to us. So, you know, we condemn it.
And if there was any comparison between George Floyd and Novak, what was his first name? Henry's Novak. It's the humanity dying, you know, like Henry pleading for life the same way George Floyd was pleading for life, if there's any comparison. Because actually, me watching the clip today, I had goosebumps watching it. It was horrendous.
I think the police deserve to be prosecuted for their lack of for what they did. Even though we've looked at the context of why things might have happened, it's policing. It's not
common
fair.
sense has got to kick in.
I've heard one of them's resigned, and you know, I don't think that's good enough. I think he should be sacked, pension taken, because that's terrible policing.
I mean, that's it, guys. Thank you, Dawi and Jordan. You guys have been absolutely fantastic.
Well, hold on. Let them close it up.
Well, can we talk about our Parked Up podcast?
Yes, let's go. Let's go.
Promote that stuff. So me and Dowie, we can't afford a studio, can't afford a lot of stuff. So we ain't got Ali's wealth. We ain't got Ali's wealth funded, are we?
No one likes us because we're white.
Listen. The people have funded this project, especially what we're doing, and we've made it clear to you guys. So I've told you many times, this studio is yours. You can come whenever you like, however you like.
But that don't suit the narrative that I'm telling.
No. Okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we're here, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, brother.
That's right. We know the white working class.
Don't try it. Don't try it. I told you guys. Whenever
honestly, I think it's brilliant. I've watched. I've seen the video. I think it's just everyday man, working man can relate to that, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue to bless your endeavors. But tell us about the podcast and the plans that you have.
So I mean, I think we started talking about the far right and stuff, and obviously Dowie did a great job on Liam Tufts and stuff. I think because of the abysmal last UTK march, we've kind of branched and thought, you know what, let's talk about all sorts of topics. This is one of our topics we were going to talk about. Talked about the Manchester thing.
We don't plan it.
Very off the cuff. Two blokes in a car.
Organic.
Having a chat, and I think we're going to carry on and see.
So where can they find you guys?
Parked Up Podcasts.
PUP podcast.
YouTube.
Yeah, we haven't done anything else yet other than.
No, I think.
Get yourself on TikTok as well. I think that would be very good. Like clips and stuff.
We've got our own channels, but you know, Dowie's got. What's yours?
Al Rijal.
I'm Jordan M. So yeah.
Any closing statements to the public, the working class, white working class, or
for the white working class? I mean, look, you're being. There's hundreds of years of social engineering that we have to take into account, and when you get people like Tommy Robinson and Nigel Farage, because they're two of the same people, really, just one's got a different tone of voice and an accent than the other one. It's so easy to gaslight and blame other people, but you have to look behind them and see the reasons why you're in your position that you're in, and stop blaming the people that they tell you to blame, because they're almost certainly not the people that are responsible for your situation. You know what I'm saying? So just be a bit smarter. You know, we got the internet now. We don't have to be who they say we are and who they want us to be. We got the opportunity now to look past what they're saying and who's really controlling the situation.
Absolutely. Jordan?
Yeah, I'd say, look, whatever side of the fence you sit, whatever your religion or colour or creed or class, you're going to look at that footage and think Henry didn't deserve that. You know, he died with no dignity, with his arms behind his back. I guess what differentiates a lot of us is who is using it to push racial hate or things like that, or who are genuinely morally, you know, outraged by it and looking at the facts of the case. Hopefully this discussion, you know, has helped people to kind of maybe understand more about what's going on, rather than just seeing a viral clip and saying, look at the Sikhs, or look at this, look at that. Normally it's Muslims. This time the Sikhs are taking the blame.
Thank you. Thank you very much. No, alhamdulillah, that's beautiful.
Perfect. I mean, fantastic, guys, inshallah. I hope you guys have benefited, inshallah. Do give us your comments, how you feel about the situation yourself. And yeah, please do subscribe to the Dawah Bros podcast. We do discuss current affairs, reaction videos, debates. We'll be getting debates here soon, inshallah. Nice civilized debates, inshallah. And that's it, brothers and sisters, from the Dawah Bros podcast. Till next time, with myself and my co-host Dawood, who's brought amazing, beneficial content. He does some deep research on these matters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.